Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to this, our last housekeeping webinar, to get ready for the brand new sessions, which are halfway underway or nearly underway or, coming soon. So today we will be, oh, that's right. I like to have a quote to start. To celebrate your preparedness. So, thanks for taking a minute before things go truly nuts to get everything organized. And I know Patsy appreciates it too. A little bit of preparation goes a long way. Um, so, hello, I am Karen, and I will be running the webinar today, best of my ability. And we've got Patsy here. Say hello, Patsy.
Hello.
I trust many of you have already met Patsy, so she will be my foil. And then Stephen is going to be wrangling the chat and answering the questions as best he can while we go through. But this is live and it is meant to answer your questions. So by all means, stop me. If you would like to ask a question, you can type it in the chat and Stephen will stop us if that's appropriate or save the question for a break point. And we can even unmute if you want to talk to me. That's fine too. But this is for you. So if there's something you would like me to go over again, or if you have a specific question about something, let me know and we will stop and cover it. So what are we going to do today? So I am going to start with a quick little tour of the latest features that we have just added so that you know everything that you have at your fingertips to be able to survive the 2026 sessions. Uh, just to make sure that you know everything included in your subscription. Then we will talk about the housekeeping that we suggest people do before things get going. Some of them are favors to us, others are going to be favors to the future you. And then we will talk about how you roll over and get all of your sheets ready for the new year. And not a moment too soon to get all over that. And then we'll give you a little preview of some of the things we are going to be working on this year, possible new features coming up. And obviously, we're interested in your feedback about what sort of new features you'd like to see. Almost everything we've built is based on suggestions. All right, here we go. New features. What's new in Build Track 50? Let's take a look. First, we launched Regulation Tracking 2.0, which was a pretty big thing for us, and we're proud of it. So that is a second subscription, but let me give you just a quick little peek at what the regulation tracking looks like if you haven't seen it. And if you're interested, you can reach out to Patsy. She can add a free trial to your account so you can check it out. But let me make this a little bigger. So here's my Build Track 50. So regulation tracking. The whole idea is it's meant to look a lot like bill tracking, and that was the whole goal. So if we are interested in, I don't know, debt collection, then you can set up a search, which will be much like your normal, like a bill sheet. But now you can narrow down by type or status or agencies. And there's a bunch of other data that's in here now too. So that's kind of the 2.0 part of it. Also, it's now one regulation per row, which, fair enough. Maybe that's how you think it should have always been, and you'd probably be right. But it wasn't how it was before, so we're pretty proud of that. I'm going to switch this over to this guy here. And that is the wrong one. Way to be prepared. Okay. So this is what it looks like now. So we've got extra information in here, like what agency the reg is from. We've got an AI summary of every reg, of course. We'll tell you what kind of thing it is and where it's at in the process. If the state or Federal Register provided a summary, we'll stick that in there. We'll tell you what kind of thing it is. All the dates that we were able to get out of the regulation, and then links and all the things you would expect. Okay, so that is a bunch more data that we used to have, and it's one row per reg. So then if we look at a specific regulation, we've got a summary of the whole regulation and then the other things you would expect. And then all of the documents we've seen about it so far. So different things as it goes through the process. And then you can click on any one of these to look at the whole document, which that's very weird, reserved for future use. Okay, thanks for that. Let's see. Okay, a little bit more interesting, bunch of information here. And then this will have a summary of the document itself right here. So that is that. And then just like we've got similar for bills to show you bills that are similar to this one, we have similar regs to show you regs that are similar to this across the country. So that is the basics there. And I forgot to say, we also have a little Ask AI guy here, which will work the same way as bills, and I will show you it in bills when we get there. Yeah, so it's very straightforward. It's just, tracking just like the bills. But it was a lot, and we're proud that we built it. So if that's useful to you, let us know, and we'll get you set up to try it out. Okay, so that is one thing. We also built our executive order tool. Beginning of the year, a bunch of executive orders came out. Probably you know about that. And so we built a little tool that we thought was kind of fun. So this is a list of all of the executive orders with summaries. But for the ones where it's a subject that the states might be interested in, so, I don't know, maybe cashless bail is something states might also be interested in. You could say, okay, well, here's the executive order and here's the summary, and you can go read the executive order itself. But you can also see what the states are doing on this topic. So there's some federal bills on this topic, but then here's what the states are doing on cashless bail. And this just was a way to kind of see where the states are pushing in the same direction and where some states might be choosing to push in the opposite direction. And so in the beginning of the year, there was lots of like immigration and DOJ and DEI and other executive orders where some of the states were trying to go in that direction and support those initiatives, and other states were trying to kind of get in the way. And so we thought it was an interesting tool to pull those together and show kind of what's going on at the state level. So that's there for everybody to use. We also have built in our AI help bot. So on our help screens, we have always had like tons of information for you, all sorts of videos and lots of help articles with screenshots and all that kind of thing. But now we have a little guy you can chat with, and he works pretty well. I mean, every now and then he sort of makes something up, but on the whole, it's pretty helpful. So that's a good place to start. Of course, Patsy and I are still available to you, and Stephen too, to help out with any questions. All right. Moving on, we also have the Ask AI. So I'm going to show that. So let's see. I have a bill sheet that has some actual AI bills. Okay. And so I'm going to say, hey, I'm interested in this model. No, I'm not interested in that. AI transparency. Perfect. All right. So I've got this bill, and I might want to say, so I just say ask AI, and it says, okay, just ask a question. And this is just going to go off to a chatbot. So I have a legislation tracking business. I provide AI generated summaries. Will this bill impact my business? Start your answer with yes, no, maybe. So I say submit, and we just take the bill, wrap it up, add your question, send that all off. Right now it's to Claude, but and then it will come back and give you the answer. And so that's just a convenience for you to just real quick ask the questions of a bill, and then you can ask follow-up questions and it will know what you were talking about. But I get this back, this maybe. You'll often get a maybe if you ask the question like I did, and then it explains why. So that is our new little Ask AI button. So there is that on the bills, and also if you're looking at a regulation document, there's an Ask AI button there too. Maybe save you time. Obviously, we would encourage you to then read the section it mentions if this is a business critical thing for you, but it can maybe help you get to grips with some bills a little bit more quickly. Hopefully, that's the idea. So hopefully that will be of use. All right. Oh, and we have a merch store. So just in time for Christmas, not anymore. Just in time for the new year almost. Just in time to get started with bills. We have so if you love Bill Trek 50 and you want to show it off with a water bottle or a tote bag, we have the store for you. Anyway, so that's just fun, and that is in the menu on the main site if you're interested. We've also added in, as you know, last year maybe you don't know, I don't know, we bundled all of our products together into just one price, which means you have a bunch of new features that are available in your current subscription. And those include scorecards, and that includes group management, and that includes afternoon alerts. So reach out to us if you have any questions on any of those. If anything about that sounds interesting to you, we will show you how to use them. We have also added a legislator export, which has been quite popular. So over here, there's this tools guy, and you can now export a whole state's worth of legislators into an Excel document, which you can then use for a mail merge or to do a whip count or to keep track of whatever. So that's there for you. The legislators are updated every day. So if something changes, you'll get new legislators in there. So that is a brand new tool. Hopefully that will be of use. It was very much requested. We added summaries to the resolutions. Maybe you hadn't noticed we didn't have them, but now we do. And when you export a bill sheet into a PDF, you now have an option to make that HTML instead if you'd like to put it someplace where HTML is appropriate. So that is the HTML reports. We also added one more thing, which we didn't have when we made this slide, but we have a new feature where you can actually, we were doing this Ask AI and I gave it a question, but it would sure be nice if I could get that question for all of my bills. Excuse me. So in fact, we added that as a thing you can do as well. So if you have a bill sheet and you have created a good prompt and you would like to ask a question of every single bill, make a column for it, and then I can put the answer into that column for you and run it for all your bills all at once. So I use that same prompt, and here, looking at all of the different bills about AI, will it affect me? I've got these yeses, nos, and maybes. So I can see what I need to do to make sure that I stay on the right side of everybody. And so far, it's mostly disclosing that we're using AI by calling it AI summary. So far I'm okay, but I really do need to keep on top of these bills. And maybe you have some you want to keep on top of too. So this is just a quick way to kind of help you quickly decide if a bill is relevant. Again, it's AI, but hopefully it will save you some time and let you do a little bit more even than you were planning to do. Right. Did I miss anything, Patsy?
No, you're doing great.
For new features? Uh, anything we added recently? Stephen, anything you can think of?
Um, there's the API bulk export was one. Um,
Yes, that's
the
true.
only one.
So if you are actually using a lot of AI and you need all of the bill text, we have a new API that you can access that has the full text of the bills or the full text of the regs. That is an extra fee, but that is available if you just need walls of text to feed into your own AI system. So happy to explore that with you if that is helpful. Okay, so that is kind of what's new. Hopefully something in there looked exciting for you to try this year. Any questions from the audience before we move on? All good?
Good.
Okay. All right, so here's what you need to do to get your account all tidy and ready for chaos to break out. Few basic things. We love it. This is your favorite to us. As you know, your subscription comes with unlimited users. We ask that once a year, and now is a good time. You look through your users and figure out who shouldn't be there anymore, if anybody, and remove them. And try to notice if there's anyone you meant to add but haven't yet. It'd be great to get them in there. And then you could also check out if their access level is correct, if everybody that you want to be able to like add other users is set properly and that kind of thing. And if you have any questions or need any help, Patsy or I can help you with that. Or if you have hundreds of users to add, reach out to us and we can see how we can help. Um, and we also have a user management tool. So if you are the admin for your company, then you should have this user permission summary, which will let you see who has permission to what. So that can be just kind of a useful thing. So if you have a bill sheet where you really meant to share it with somebody, then you can double check who all you've shared your stuff with. So that is just a little tool there to help you kind of review everybody's access and make sure it's how you think it should be. Then we've got your bill sheets. Go through them, decide if there's any you really are never going to use again and it was just like a one-off thing. Go ahead and delete them. Just make it easy. There's a delete button on the Manage tab. Get rid of it. If it's something that you just did and you might want to revisit, but for now it doesn't need to be running, then on the Manage tab, there is an archive checkbox. And we'll talk even more about that in a little while. But that will just kind of freeze it in place, put it out of the way. It'll stop running it, but it's there if you ever want to turn it back on. And then if there's something that you want to keep running, but you don't actually need to have in your account, then you can hide it from yourself so that it's not there in the way. And this could be like old sheets that you have saved. You can go in and just say, you know what, like I've archived all these, but I don't need them in my actual list. So to tidy everything up and keep your list as short as possible, which obviously I should do because I've got 77 bill sheets here, which is a lot. So if you want to hide something from yourself, well, actually, let me just, so this deep fakes one, if I decide I don't need it anymore, I can just say delete, and that will just get rid of it entirely. Or if I just don't, I was just playing around, but I might want to come back to it, I can say archive, and that will just put it away. Or I can go into manage users, and I can edit myself, and then I can go to the bill sheets that I don't need to see anymore. And so you can see like this 2019 demo one, I just set it to none. So you can always just set it to none, and then it's just not in my account. It's not bothering me anymore. It's not in the way, but I can go back and turn it back on if I ever need to revisit this topic. So that's just a way to get this list as short and sweet as possible so that everything is as organized as possible when all the new stuff starts coming in. So you can delete, you can archive, or you can just hide it from yourself. And if you hide it, it will keep running and anyone else using it will still see it. Or if you put it on your website, it will still run, but it just won't be in your way. Okay, same thing goes for rec sheets. And I think me and Patsy will say this extra loud right now, if you made any sheets over the summer, check your alerts. By default, when you make a new sheet, it doesn't start sending you alerts. None of the alerts are checked. This would be a great time of year to make sure all your sheets, if you want alerts, you've checked that box. So please double check that your alerts are how you want them to be, especially anything that you made new, because we really want you to start getting the alerts when the bills start coming in. Right, Patsy?
Yes. And if I had captioning on, bold 72 point font on your alerts. Reminder, if you are in an account with multiple people, each of you has an email login. Okay? Your alerts are yours. My alerts are mine. Steven's alerts are Steven's, right? So she's saying your alerts, check your alerts. But if you work with other people in the system and you're the one tasked with attending the webinar, remind them to check their alerts too.
Thank you. Yes, good point. Tell everybody. So if you turn on alerts for you, that only turns them on for you, not for everybody. So everybody's got to go in and check their own boxes so that everybody is getting the exact information that they need. And as long as you're going through looking and making sure your alerts are right, it doesn't hurt to double check your queries and make sure that they are also what you expect them to be, that you finished it. see if there's any words that have changed over the, over the last couple of years. It's always nice to kind of just give a glance at those things if you have time. But for sure, anything new, check your alerts. You will be glad you did. Okay. And with that, you will have a nice, clean account ready to get the new bills. So let's talk about how you can save your work and then get your sheets ready for the new year, which is now this year. Whoosh, that came fast. Okay, so we very much recommend this. And I think Stephen will bat me up here because you just spent some time like fixing this in someone's account today, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a word to the wise. We highly suggest that if you have done any work on your bill sheets, so like this AI example for webinar, I have added these comments. I have gone through, so I added all that stuff. I have gone through and hidden the bills that I didn't think were actually going to be relevant to me at all. Like I took out all the budget acts and stuff. So with all of that, like I did work, I spent time on this. It would be great if I saved this for myself before all the bills fall out. However, because it's now 2026, all the 2026 bills have fallen out. So if I look at my map, hello, where'd my map go? There it is. All these states don't have any bills yet because all the 2025 bills are gone, and now I have just 2026 bills on here. And so these are just the biennial states is what's left. Okay, so if you got caught with that, do not worry. You can go to the query tab and you can switch from current session to session years, and you can say, give me 25, 26, and then that'll put it back like it was. And now you can go to the Manage tab, take a copy. And I'm going to say this is my AI 2025 copy. All right. I like to put the year in there just so I remember which one it is because I'm going to do this again next year. Okay, so I've got this copy. Now I can go to the Manage tab and I can click that archive. And that will take this and freeze it in place. So now I've got this guy locked and saved, and it's got the 2025 bills on it. It's got a few 2026 bills on it, but that's what happened. You can sort and remove those if you want, or you can just kind of leave them and say, okay, well, this is more or less how it was. And it has all your work in it. It's got all those comments. It's got everything hidden. Plus, it's just a nice safety net in case you screw something up later. You know that it is archived because it says archived here. Also, the X's are gone, so you can't accidentally remove any bills. And on the query tab, it's all grayed out so that you can't make any changes because the whole point of this is you're saving it as it is. So now it's just going to sit here and be as it is. You can always unarchive something and bring it back, but if I'm just saving this, I don't, I want it archived. I want it just kept solid. Now, like I said, you can hide this. So after 2026 has gotten rolling and you're not referring back to 2025, you can hide it and then just get it out. Like at the end of the year when you're starting to look at trends and starting to think about like what's going on. Or if you just can't, if you're like, I'm pretty sure a state did this last year, like you can always get it back out for yourself and look at it. But once you've archived it, you can safely put it away. And then I want to go back to the original sheet and change my query back to current session. Okay. And so if you had done that last year in December, then you wouldn't have had to, change the timeline. You could have just saved it, but no big deal. Just set it back to 2025, save it, put it back to 2026. Now, why the rigmarole? Why the taking the copy and then archiving the copy? For lots of reasons. So if other people are using the sheet, that way that sheet just continues to work for them. If you have it driving a map or a widget or a stakeholder page on your website, that way you don't have to change the website. It just keeps working. If I have written any custom code for you, then it will all continue to work. So it just makes a lot of sense if you've used this bill sheet anywhere for anything to just leave it, the main sheet ticking over, and take a copy of it and save the copy as what you're going to archive. We have just found that that works much better. But if you mess it up, like, Stephen will sort you out, Patsy will sort you out, it'll be okay. But that also, after you've done all this and you've cleaned everything up, I do suggest that you go to your website if you do have maps or widgets or stakeholder pages and just double check everything looks like it's supposed to, because we can help you fix it if it doesn't. But it's a good idea to just kind of look at that every now and then anyway, just to make sure everything is like you expect it as far as all of your sharing stuff. Okay, so that's the main thing that we want to explain about taking a snapshot. So if you've done work, if you've hidden bills, if you've added comments, if you've like curated it at all, then you're going to want to save that work. And then you can archive it and put it away. All right, that is how you take a snapshot and save your bill sheets. Changing the timeline. Let's talk about that real quick. And then you can also remove old bills. So we just looked at the timeline, but that also is, if you don't have it set to current session, if you set it to 2025 last year, you're going to need to make sure that it's 2026 this year or set it to current session. If you don't want, no, just current session, or you can have it set to a specific year. So, if you tend to make it 1 year at a time, just double check that it's the year you think it is. And then also, if you have added bills by bill number, so probably I have on this. So if you just typed in some bill numbers down here, or if you use the plus to add some bills in, then it's hard to tell. Maybe off the top of your head if California is a 1 year state or a 2 year state. Quick, Patsy, California, 1 year state, 2 year state?
2.
Oh, let's see. Yep. So I have some old California bills in, and then I have some current California bills in. So states that are 2 year states from bills from last year are still active, but states that are 1 year states, and it's about half and half out there, then all of the 2025 bills are not active anymore, so you might as well remove them. So I can hover over this. The things that turn red are bills that are old from old years, and if I click remove, it'll just go ahead and remove them. So you can go ahead and clean up your sheets to get rid of those old bills that you added in using the plus, or by typing in the bill number to make them current. Now, if you've taken a snapshot, great. You don't have to worry because you've already saved all that work, so no worries at all. If you haven't, but you have a lot that you've added one by one, you might want to reconsider and go ahead and take a snapshot before you remove everything, just so you can keep track of what you were following. So that is, we call it the out of session bills, the OOSB, the OOSBs. So get rid of your OOSBs. Last thing, on the hidden tab, we will maintain all of the bills that you have ever hidden, and that is on purpose, because if you are changing your query and you somehow misspell a word and you get back 0 results, well, when you go fix your spelling error and all your bills come back, you would like to keep everything hidden that you had already hidden. You don't want to lose your work just because you didn't put I before E. So we have learned that the hard way, and we purposely save everything that's been hidden, and we don't remove them no matter what. So that saves you some trouble. But it will mean that this list gets longer and longer. So if you go back to the hidden all the time to look at what you just hid, or to see if anything's been amended or anything like that, then you can just say update all here, and it's going to update and only keep bills in the current session and get rid of anything in the old sessions. So that is how you can clean this out. You don't want to unhide them all, probably, unless you really want to unhide them all, but update all will just get rid of old ones and keep you to the new year. And again, It's great if you have already taken a snapshot so you don't have to worry about what you're doing. If you mess it up, you've already got a copy that you can put back. Okay, hopefully that made sense. And that is how you can clean everything out, get everything to the new year, and then you're ready. Then your bill sheets are ready. Okay. Did I miss anything, Patsy?
You're doing great.
All right, that's the getting ready. So pre-filing is going on in many states. Stephen, where are we at? How many states do we have already active this year doing stuff?
Well, it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off already. It's early days. So we have 16 states that are currently active. So they are sitting there considering bills. They're actually at work. We have most of the other states are going to start in the next couple of weeks. So within a couple of weeks, we'll have virtually all the states in the country going. There are three laggards. We'll start a little bit later this year. So that's Arkansas, North Carolina, Louisiana. And then, of course, we have the Fantastic Four who are taking a year off this year, putting their feet up. So Texas, North Dakota, and Montana, and Nevada aren't meeting at all.
Yep, very good. So lots of activity and lots of new bills coming soon. These states are special. So New Jersey, they're the only biennial that goes from odd to even to odd. So they're ending and starting a new biennial this year, but they don't actually stop their session until, I don't know, January 9th or something. So they haven't quite finished their 23-24. No, their 24-25 session yet.
So they're on even to odd, while everyone else for the most part does odd to even. So they are at the tail end of their 24-25. They don't officially end their 25 until Jan 12. And so just like take a deep breath, let New Jersey be different. And next week, the computer will settle you out. And that way you don't need to like panic, like, why are there bills from 2024 when it's 2026? Well, they're New Jersey bills, and New Jersey is just going to do what it wants, and that's fine. And they're going to gavel out next week of their old, and they'll gavel into their new. And we'll all be confused and stressed out for like 2 days, and we'll get through it.
Yes, exactly right. So that's what's special about New Jersey. For Hawaii, Oklahoma, and New Hampshire, it's very subtle. Like they have like carryover, and we carry those all over, and we carry all your comments and what you've hidden, all of that over. But they put a new link up for each bill. So it's not like a true biennial, or at least the states don't treat them that way, where like it's just the same link that's working last year and this year. It's got a new link, but we just copy all of your old data onto the new bill, the new link, and then it's all fine. But if you click into a bill that you started following last year, it's going to say it's the 2026 session when you haven't even looked at it yet, but yet you have a comment on it. Well, that's why, because we took the 2025 bill. It is the same bill. So we moved all your stuff over. So you don't need to worry about that, but just if you notice, that's why for those three states. Okay. Regulations. We don't have a session for regulations. So you're going to want to go in and X out old stuff. Or you can now do a rolling option for your regs query. So you can just say, show me the last 6 months or last year. And then that works the same. Old things just drop off. The thing about regulations is when a new document comes out for the regulation, we put that date on the regulation. So if there's a rule review, it will come back up as new to you so that you'll be aware that new things are happening with a regulation. So that query range, it's not when the regulation was introduced. It was the last time we saw a document for it. So they come back up if we get new paperwork on them. Okay. So that is it. You are good to go. So if you have any questions, if we can help at all, if you're nervous about anything, or if you, God forbid, delete the wrong thing, reach out. We will set you right. But these steps for tidying up, for saving your work, and for getting your sheets ready will do you big favors as everything goes nuts. If you haven't been through one of these before. All right, any questions on any of that or anything, Stephen or Patsy, you think I missed before we get into a little bit of a preview for next year?
Nope.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So real quick, here's some things that we're thinking about. Very slowly, links. Oh, there they are. All right. So the AI prompt for bill sheet column, that is now working. We are working on adding state executive orders. So we've got the federal ones, and we're adding more and more state ones as time goes on. So some of the state governors' executive orders are in there, and some are not yet, but we're working on that. We're researching and trying to build out public utility commission dockets that we'll just put in to the reg tracking as well. We'd like to extract some more dates for the regs. So far, we're not too impressed with what the AI's done, but we're getting there. And the big thing we hope to do is semantic searching so that you can say gun control legislation and actually get all the gun control legislation. So searching by the meaning of what you're talking about instead of the actual specific words of what you're talking about. We'll see. Keep your fingers crossed for us. We've got some ideas. All right. And then we have a bunch of resources that can help you throughout the year. We are going to be emailing. You'll get a thank you email tomorrow, and it'll have links to all of these different things. But our help center that we mentioned, Calendly, so that you can reach out to me or Patsy, or if you're lucky, you'll get Stephen. Release notes to see what is the latest new features all the time, or our newsletter. Once a month, we let you know like what all we've added in the last month and any webinars and stuff we've scheduled. Plus, you will get the post describing all of the steps that we just described to you here. So that is coming to you tomorrow. And then, of course, we've got our Substack and our podcast, Beyond the Bill Number, which you could check out if you're interested. And we've got our YouTube channel where we've got all of our demos and all of the different things. You could follow us on social media where you can get some merch. Okay. So reach out anytime. I'm Karen. You know Patsy. There's Stephen. And Kendra's not here, but she'd love to help you too. So please do reach out for any help you need for the year this year. All right. Any final questions before we say sayonara?
Nope.
All right.
No, nothing.
Great. Well, thank you for coming. Hopefully this was useful and you'll be able to have a very successful 2026. Good luck out there. Bye.